Well, James, can you believe it? 35 years of Lexus. I've got about 35 pages of notes here because we've got a lot to get through today. 35 years ago, do you know how old I was?
Probably not even born yet, Emma. I'm going to go with that. But look, I remember when Lexus launched, it was a pretty exciting time to see a new luxury player come from Japan. I hadn't seen that before. And I tell you what, we've got 10 amazing cars here with a lot of history. So why don't we get cracking and start where it all began?
The LS400 scored a 190 kilowatt, 360 newton metre, 4-litre V8 engine, mated to a 4-speed automatic transmission with a rear-wheel drive layout. As you can see, this luxury sedan has an understated, clean exterior design with a focus on sophistication over flashiness. When this car launched locally in 1990, it was just over $118,000, a price that significantly undercut its German competitors. A new generation arrived in 1995. There was then an update in 1997.
So James, this is where it all started, the LS400. I have to say, I don't actually remember seeing this out on the road, but I'll mention it again. I was young. I was 3 back then. But before we get on to this, there have been quite a lot of rumours about the actual Lexus name.
Yeah, look, what a car to start with. And you're right, there are two rumours about where Lexus came from. One is that it is simply an acronym of Luxury Export US, because that's where Japan was looking to grow the market. Toyota wanted to do something to win that US market over, and so the Luxury EX Sport US became Lexus.
Yep.
But that's almost too easy, because there's another school of thought and another rumour that went around that the brand was initially going to be called Lexus. And it was all set to be going, and the car was going to be unveiled until someone from Japan saw that who was it? Joan Collins, the nasty TV character in the TV show Dynasty, was called Lexus.
And it ruined it for them.
That's it. They thought it would have a negative connotation and a negative alignment to the brand, so they changed it to just Lexus.
I'm glad they didn't go down that route. But my question to you is, and I've always wanted to know this while I'm writing my articles, what's the plural?
Lexi. Well, this is what we've got today, Lexi. So starting here, LS400, a big luxury sedan, V8 power, comfy, smooth, a lot of leading technology, a lot of leading build quality at the time, because this was Japan basically saying to the Germans who were leading that space, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, we're coming and we're going to do it with quality front and centre.
Because they actually unveiled it in their hometown of Germany, but at the time, this was really expensive.
Well, this was the most expensive Japanese car to ever be sold in Australia when it was launched. It was about $118,000, but they came with a lot of promise. You had a lot of equipment, a lot of comfort, but what was then leading 3-year warranty, and that was kind of unheard of at the time.
Some really cool features in here too, including a 6-stacker CD. I don't really remember how to use those, but cool.
Stop playing.
Cool. It still looks great.
I got CDs at home, Em. This is a good thing. I remember these when they came out, groundbreaking, and it was the success of the LS400 that led Lexus to sort of go a little bit smaller. And still in a luxury sedan, this is the one that you probably saw a lot more. This is the ES, and it was designed to be a BMW 3 Series Mercedes C-Class competitor as a more compact, still luxurious, but a little bit sporty. I mean, rimless windows, just like a coupe.
And basically inside, size-wise, it's the similar size to a Toyota Camry.
Look, it is the fancy Camry, and I think this is the way to look at it. These were really, really popular in terms of embedding Lexus into the market, and I think the two-tone styling kind of, it's a bit of a statement of the time, probably should come back, but it's still a pretty cool car, the ES.
So again, a car I don't remember seeing on the road, but I do remember one feature that you could get in this car, and that was an in-car phone.
This is it.
Remember those?
I do remember, and you had all the... Well, this one's got the antenna on the back, so you never know.
The ES300 entered the Australian market in 1992, serving as the brand's mid-size luxury sedan, positioned as a more affordable and practical alternative to the flagship LS400. Early cars had Toyota's 3-litre V6 coupled to a 4-speed automatic transmission capable of 138 kilowatts and 264 newton meters. The second generation packed a more improved version of the V6, which was more efficient and more powerful than its predecessor. The ES300 arrived in Australia with a price tag of just under $60,000.
Now, if you've got two sedans, right, where do you go from there?
Well, this is it. Lexus wanted to make a bit of a mark, so they tried something a little bit different.
So luxury sedans, James, to a luxury convertible. Their first drop top, in fact. It's a bit of a different design.
Do you know what? When these came out, I can't say I was a fan. It has a very unique style. It's very classy. It's kind of elegant, but it certainly is a little bit, well, you know, it has to be your jam.
I really actually like looking at these older interiors. Like, look at how nice and simple it is. The buttons, the dials,
the wood.
Gear shifter, the wood. I love the wood. There's something else in here though that someone in the factory, the Lexus factory, was very well known for holding on to something in particular. What was it?
No, this speaks to me. So for a bit of fun pub trivia, the Lexus SC was the last car that you could buy in Australia with a cassette player in it. So you've got a high-end Mark Levinson sound system in this car that will still play a cassette. And you know what? I love that.
This luxury GT boasted a retractable hardtop, transforming it from a coupe to a convertible in just 25 seconds. Under the bonnet, there's a 4.3-litre naturally aspirated V8, which has been used in other Lexus models. The SC430 has power outputs of 210 kilowatts and 430 newton meters. And while it was initially paired with a 5-speed automatic transmission, this was later updated to a 6-speed to enhance efficiency and performance. And fun fact, its styling was heavily influenced by the French Riviera, where Lexus designers spent months studying luxury yachts and seaside architecture to inspire its sleek curves and upscale feel.
The style, I reckon, has actually aged pretty well, but it shows going through the years that Lexus was again, yeah, they were going to push things out there. They were going to take a risk. So like you said, luxury sedans, luxury convertibles. Our next stop takes us kind of a massive step into the future, even though it's from 20 years ago.
So this here is the world's first luxury hybrid SUV, the RX 400h. They called it a hybrid history maker. Do you know what RX stands for?
Look, I would go with something silly like really expensive, but it wasn't actually that expensive. So no, tell me.
You know, expensive starts with an E, but yeah, it stands for radiant crossover, James.
Well, there we go. And I tell you what, it is still a radiant crossover. So this launched internationally in 2005, Australia 2006. This is a 2008 model. This is a customer car. So this is still driven, it's still out on the road, and it still looks good, but it really changed that perception of what you could have with a car. You've got the size and the space and the flexibility of an SUV, plus that trusted and tested, now after, 20 years, hybrid driveline.
Now this I actually do remember seeing out on the road. But on that hybrid note, and we were talking about this before, if you are looking for a hybrid car, you know Toyota and Lexus, well, they did hybrids so well. A lot of people were screaming for them to bring out their EVs and they didn't want to follow everyone. They went down the hybrid avenue and geez, they did well with it, because it's going to be on your shopping list, I feel, if you're wanting to buy a hybrid car.
Well, that's it. And to think that 20 years ago, this was the hybrid SUV you could buy, and you can still buy a new hybrid RX now. And I think that's the way that Lexus has shown that there is definitely form here.
Once this car launched and became a success, Lexus was seen as a pioneer, the first of the luxury brands to get serious about reducing carbon exhaust emissions by applying its innovative powertrain technology across a range of its popular vehicles. The RX 400h combined a 3.3-litre V6 engine with electric motors. It provided 200 kilowatts and had a continuously variable transmission, or CVT. When it came to Australia in 2006, it had a starting price of just under $90,000.
Now I know that you get really excited about a family car and an SUV, but I'm a little bit more excited about the next one.
Yeah, fair. Well, Em, what a car. You can't talk about Lexus, you can't talk about Lexus history without talking about this, the LFA. V10 rear-wheel drive, a Yamaha-built engine, the only Lexus engine to be unique to Lexus, not a Toyota derivative, the only V10, I think, from Japan. The sound of this car is otherworldly. What a kind of stake in the ground for Lexus to say, hey, we can do performance just as good as anybody.
And they only made 500 of these. So if you want to get your hands on one now, well, the last one that we know that sold, it was in 2023 for for 1.2 million or something ridiculous Australian dollars. But when it was on the market at first, it was going for $700,000.
Amazing. I remember at the time people said that's crazy for a Lexus, but look at this thing now.
We've mentioned that incredible V10. Well, Lexus engineers spent a good amount of time debating about the engine option. The V6 could not cut it, the V12 was too heavy, and the V8 lacked the balance they needed. Hence, enter the V10. Requirements clearly stated that the engine would have to rev up to 9,000 RPM and weigh less than any of its V10 counterparts at the time. The 4.8-litre V10, which was only used in the LFA, developed 412 kilowatts and 480 newton meters. The engine ran through a rear-mounted, 6-speed, single-clutch, automatic transaxle, and Lexus claimed a 0 to 100 km/h sprint time of 3.7 seconds.
What a supercar. But I tell you what, from a bona fide supercar to a supercar-looking supercar with this one.
James, honestly, this is one of my favourite cars that I've reviewed at my time at Drive. It is available, in a hybrid. You've got your naturally aspirated V8 version as well. You've got convertible, you've got a coupe. I mean, people say that Lexus can be a bit understated at times. This is anything but. This is a statement piece, very bold and very beautiful.
That's right, this is the LC. And I tell you what, the first time I saw one of these on the road, it just blew me away. It is Lexus kind of pushing that design envelope again. And to your point, you've got hybrid, you've got V8, so you've got a choice of power, you've got a choice of body styles, but no matter what, it looks amazing. And even in this colour combo, this is not a conservative car, and I kind of love it for that.
This is a heat blue, the colour, and an ochre interior. One of the things that Lexus are really big on is craftsmanship. So there's beautiful handmade detailing inside, in the stitching, in the beautiful leather, and it just looks gorgeous. And I can tell you, it is a lot of fun to drive. A lot of heads turned when I had that roof off.
Excellent.
They weren't looking at me, they were looking at the car.
And look, I'm sure they were.
The LC Coupe was the first Lexus to feature a 10-speed automatic transmission. As mentioned, there's plenty of choice when it comes to this car. Hybrid, petrol, coupe, convertible. The convertible version features a soft-top design that folds in just 15 seconds. If you don't want the blistering V8, which spits out 351 kilowatts and 540 newton meters, then the hybrid might be more your jam. Power from the LC500H comes from a 3.5-litre V6 petrol engine mated to a single electric motor. Interested in one today? The LC Coupe starts at just over $200,000. Personally, this is my favourite of the bunch, but which one's yours? Let us know in the comments below, and while you're there, if you're enjoying this video, give us a like.
I tell you what, from a car that is a lot of fun to drive to a car that really is a lot of fun to drive, let's hit the track. What do you reckon, Em? RCF Tack Edition, too much or just enough?
You can never have too much carbon. Carbon, carbon. Carbon, carbon, it's insane. Red interior as well.
This is a thing, like this was, what have we got? Naturally aspirated V8, great sound. Look, it turns heads. I have to say, I don't know if it is a step too far, but you wouldn't see them around. They were rare. It is a really, really cool car. And again, another way that Lexus has shown over the years that they, as a brand, don't have to be conservative. They can push that barrow out just that little bit every time. And look, I got to say, even in an SUV-centric lineup and an SUV-centric market at the moment, it's amazing and really cool to see a brand like Lexus go big V8, rear-wheel drive, and all the carbon in the world.
We're going to do it all, and that's what I think they're known for, taking risks.
Yeah.
They have been very bold.
Released in 2019, the Tack Edition was created for those seeking a more focused, track-ready version of the RCF Coupe. As mentioned, this car has a lot of carbon fibre components, including on the bonnet, front air dam, and you can't miss that rear wing. With a 5-litre naturally aspirated V8, it's able to produce 351 kilowatts and 530 newton meters. This car has a rear-wheel drive layout and an 8-speed automatic transmission with launch control. The Tack Edition hit the market at just over $165,000.
So from a track-focused car to something probably the opposite, right?
V8 to no V8. Well, Em, we have talked about leading in hybrid luxury, so now you've got Lexus going the full electric luxury with the RZ.
I love this colour, by the way,
Yeah.
and hello, looking for my next family car. So this sits in between an NX and an RX, and perfect mid-size SUV, really.
Very cool. Now, the RZ it's using Toyota's, again, electrification technology. So this is the same underneath as you'll find in the BZ4X. So it's a similar kind of size, but obviously a more luxury option that you've taken here with the RZ.
The RZ450e is Lexus's first dedicated EV, built on the e-TNGA platform, which is shared with the Toyota BZ4X and Subaru Solterra. It has a futuristic and sleek design with a spindle-inspired grille, aggressive lines, and coupe-like proportions. Powering this car are dual electric motors developing 230 kilowatts combined. It's equipped with a 71.4 kilowatt-hour battery pack, delivering a claimed 470 kilometres of driving range. The RZ450e has a starting price of just over $121,000.
But this isn't the size for everybody, and again, we do like to see a little bit of excitement come through from the Lexus SUVs. Why don't we go sporty again?
So James, we've seen sporty, we've seen SUV, but how about a sporty SUV? This is a fun city SUV which brings Toyota Yaris hot hatch power with it.
Well, that's right. You've got underneath here is the GR Yaris driveline. So you've got that sporty kind of rally-inspired hatch in the Lexus LBX that we sort of nicknamed the little baby crossover, because this is the smallest Lexus you can get that's now one of the most fun. This is the Morizo. It sounds Italian, but it's Japanese.
Yeah. Why do we want to make everything sound Italian?
I know. Look, this is the special racy one. And I tell you what, it's, again, Lexus having a bit of fun.
This car was developed under the guidance of Toyota's chairman, Akio Toyoda. Under the bonnet lies a 1.6-litre turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine, developing 206 kilowatts and 390 newton meters, and Lexus claims a 0 to 100 kilometre sprint time of 5.2 seconds. Japan will receive a choice of manual and auto, while just the 8-speed automatic is confirmed for Oz. This funky addition will hit Australian shores next year.
Now, to finish up our roundtable of Lexi, let's take a big step into the future, because we've looked 35 years in the past. This is looking well ahead.
Don't forget that if you're in the market for one of these cars, be sure to check out Drive Marketplace for all of your new and quality used cars.
Well, James, what a journey it's been, but here we are, the future of Lexus, brand new architecture. This is what I guess the next 35 years will look like. Now, the underpinnings of this will actually be in a production car in 2026, so can we guess what it would be for?
Yeah, look, so the LFZC, this is a concept car. There's no interior or anything like that. This is really a style statement of where Lexus could go. But you're right, a mid-size sedan, do you know what? Could be what we might see in a new ES, something like that, which again, it's a really exciting space to be. So I think for the journey that we've been on, it really has been a fast 35 years to think we've come all the way from that LS400 to what lies ahead next. There's been some pretty momentous occasions. Kind of fun to do this tour. I can't wait for what the next 35 years of Lexus is going to look like.
Well, you mentioned it, the LS400, that's where we began, took a great journey to the future of Lexus, and if you want to see any more information on the cars that you've seen today, be sure to read up all about it over at Drive.com.au and subscribe so you can see more great videos just like this one. Thanks, James.
Thanks, Anne.
Now, we've taken you through a lot of cars, but something that's not here is the Lexus GX 550. But don't worry, you can catch Sam's review right here.